Hello everyone, my name is April Adams and I am with Realty Executives Grant County in Moses Lake, and I am embarking on real estate videos in hopes of dispelling any myths about the real estate process and explaining what to expect in the process. So I am here today with Bill Geates, the one and only, the Bill Geates of Moses Lake. And he is with Frontier Title and Escrow. And a question that buyers and sellers always ask is, what does escrow do? So, Bill, can you tell us, what does escrow do? What is escrow?
Sure. Escrow is a third party to a transaction between the buyer and seller. We take what the purchase and sale agreement says, and we try to enforce that to the complete for both sides so that both sides get what they were expecting out of the transaction. So we're a third party, we're independent, we don't represent either side.
Okay. What should buyers and sellers expect the days leading up to closing? So, closings are about 45 days, more or less. What happens in the week before closing?
Well, throughout the whole closing process, but more towards right near the end, we're working a lot with the lender on the deal, and we also are working with getting all of the payoffs and all of the judgments and everything else that are needed to get cleaned up off the property so that it's insurable. Okay. And so then right when it comes out to it, the lender and us get together, and we're waiting for their loan docs. We get together and make sure that our settlement statements say the same thing, and then so it really comes down to right at the end. It's a very fast,
a big
push, and it happens right all at once. And
boy,
sometimes the buyers have to come in right that day,
yes.
and they have to be in by a certain time so that we can get the documents out on FedEx, and it's just it's kind of tough for everybody.
Yeah. So buyers and sellers, you have to be very flexible with time, because in the very last days leading up to closing, there is a big push, and it's short notice for various reasons, but really being flexible on signing so you could close. So what should they expect the day of closing? Or excuse me, what should they expect the day of signing?
Okay. Yeah, when they're signing, we're going to ask them to bring in picture ID and also the amount of cash to close. Sometimes it can be substantial, whatever they've been looking, whatever their situation is. And we'll need that in a cashier's check, or we need it in a cash itself, or it can also be wired into our account ahead of time. And sometimes we've even taken cash for it. So, but it has to be in that form. It can't be a personal check, or we don't take credit cards.
Okay, so when buyers buy a home, there will be closing costs, and those closing costs will be calculated. Escrow will tell you what that is, and they could bring a cashier's check, possibly cash, and can wire it.
Right.
Is there anything that you could tell buyers and sellers to prepare for? What would be your best advice to make this a smooth process for them?
Well, this is going to be the end, kind of close to the end of what the whole process is, and it's almost the most enjoyable part of it and the most fun, because while there's a lot of documents to sign, we have a pile here. It kind of tells you that there's a lot of documents.
You call that enjoyable? That's enjoyable?
Well, most of it's things they've already gone through with their lender, and they already have signed most of them, so it's kind of fun to go to finish it up, and all we do is tell them to make sure your hands are loose and you're ready to sign a lot of times, but it can be a lot of fun. So we usually have a pretty good time with going through the docs and signing them.
Okay, and also to breathe.
Yes, breathe, relax. It's going to be easy. There's nothing no surprises at the end.
Hopefully not. Yes.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any.
So now after buyers and sellers sign, when do they close? So oftentimes they think that when you sign, they want the keys and they want to start moving in and start painting, but that just is not the case.
No, normally what happens is we scan the documents in, send them off to the lender. We overnight the documents to the lender, and they go over them, making sure that everything's done to their satisfaction. Then they release us to record, and they wire us the money that they're planning to put into it. Then we go over and record the documents at the county seat. And then at that point in time, that is when it's finally the transaction's complete. Okay. And the buyer has now got the home and the seller is now sold. Mm-hmm. Now then we would pay out the monies and distribute the funds the next day.
Okay. So about 24 hours after a buyer and seller signs, it will close about more or less, depending on any other outstanding
More or
issues.
less, it's the day after, and then it's the day after that we disperse funds.
Okay, so business day.
Yes, business days. You're right, not weekends. We, for some reason, don't want to work weekends yet.
Well, thank you very much. That explained, hopefully, a lot to buyers and sellers on what to expect in the escrow process. It can be very, there's a lot of anxiety in that process. So title and escrow are there to make it easier for you. And if you have questions, always contact your title company and escrow company, and they will explain what's going on. Yep. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.